ओम नमो भगवते श्री अरुणाचल रमनाय ओम। नमस्ते एवरीवन। नमस्कार। I don't see Neelakantan ji there, but anyone can ask anything or speak about whatever you want to say about awareness, your own sadhana or whatever it is. Robert wants to ask something.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you for the Satsangs too. Yeah, I'd like to ask a question that I guess goes to a bit of experience also. Do you think in the West, maybe this is the wrong way to formulate the question, do you think that the sheaths which we carry can be thicker or thinner, harder or more brittle, depending on where you're from? So someone from the West might be callous and these sheaths are extremely hard to break. And then someone, I don't know. So I don't really want to go too far down the question road, but that's the essence of the question.
When you are saying sheaths, are you talking about the ignorance?
Yes, exactly. The ignorance. Because I like the way you speak of it as being sheaths that we're trying to get rid of. And the only one we really get rid of at death is dropping of the body, is the gross sheath, the body sheath. But then there are others that we carry with us. But so it goes to a bit of upbringing and just have you noticed it? I mean, are people more callous than they would be? I don't know. I don't want to go too far in the question because you've seen things yourself.
I don't agree that someone from West will have thicker sheaths or thinner sheaths, but one thing I know is that there are seekers all over the world, irrespective which country they belong to, or what religion their parents practiced or they also practiced for some extent. And in my understanding, I have seen it is just an individual, wherever he or she comes from. Sometimes they just click, and their understanding is so profound, in spite of having no previous background about Vedanta or Upanishad or self-inquiry, or you can say teachings come from Hinduism. Look, to say this, I am really not comfortable myself to say that these are the teachings of Hinduism. Problem is that these teachings are everyone's, and nobody can claim it is Hinduism. But nobody else is claiming. So Hindus have accepted they are their teaching. They are not Hindus' teaching. They are universal teaching written in Upanishads. But nobody else is claiming. Christians are not claiming it is their teaching, or Muslims are not claiming. So it is left over, which Hindus has accepted because it was in India. But I'll tell you, it is nothing to do with religion, or even Hindu religion or any religion. And these Upanishadic teachings are actually very, very profound. And they are abstract. It is pure path of knowledge. It has nothing to do with sometimes we use in these terms like Western mindset. And I have to say the Western mindset is not that well adapted for devotion. And I have also seen some speakers in the past, not recently, and the readings, that a Western mindset thinks that the path of knowledge is superior to the path of devotion because it's analytical, it does not have a blind faith to start with. It goes where you have to actually go eventually with formless, nameless. So why to take a path, indirect path? First you believe in a form and then you get rid of that form. Not sure how many people have heard about Ramakrishna Paramhans, who believed in Kali as a form. And then a guru came and he made him transcend that devotional worship of Kali to Nirgun Brahman. In my understanding, I have realized that Indians, or the Eastern mind, is more for devotion. They believe in devotion. So bhakti comes very naturally to them. And a Western mind is not that, easy to accept devotion. I've seen the Western mind accept devotion when there's a miracle done by a guru or a teacher. Like you can say, like Satya Sai Baba or Neem Karoli Baba. You have to show some magic to make them your devotee. I think this is the major difference I have seen. But if you come to Gyan Yoga, the path of knowledge, I think everyone is same. It is just that individual to whom it clicks. And it is not that you have to have very analytical mind. It is a mind which has understood futility of barking all the time and busy in nonsense all the time and wants to rest. I think it is a tired mind which have understood that better to just get lost. And something in us has already seen this around us, that people who are running for things, they are never happy. If you are close to them, if you are one of the close friends, you know the secret that they are not happy. But they pretend to be happy because now they have started collecting. There is no end to this collection. They still wants to feel that one day they will be happy. This one more thing is there left already to collect. If I collect this also, then I will be happy. So they live in this mirage. this illusion that one day I will be very happy. You know, if you see in the Western world, there are a lot of people who were CEOs and presidents of big companies who were deceiving people or who were manipulating people, and they were earning in millions and they left the job. So that much of courage, or I should say that much of understanding that they are not after money, is very profound. For a person like that, if he listens to pure Upanishadic teaching, comes to satsang, listen to it, for him, he is already keen to change, keen to transcend this egoistic, selfish tendencies. It will be very, very easy for that person. So I feel it is your own understanding from your own life that at the end it does not give us any real fulfillment. And I think in path of knowledge, I have seen that Eastern, Western minds are more or less same, because in Bhagavan days also there were so many of Western devotees who understood it. And even now, if you see, there are lot many, it's a mixed crowd. You can't say that someone has advantage over the other. As far as these sheaths are concerned, doesn't matter, the sheaths, a thick skin or a thin skin, we can say more as a symbolically, but I don't think there's any difference. The Western soul is more deeply embedded and it's difficult to reach there, or Eastern soul is in thin. Maybe the body structure might be big of a Western person or a wrestler, but I don't think it has to do anything with that understanding. So sheaths don't matter. Your own mindset definitely matters. Some people are hardly involved in anything. They are very, very, very simple beings. Life is so simple for them. And they accept most of the things. Some question everything. For that type of a mind, which is always highly intellectual, to understand this is more difficult, very difficult, because they question everything and the mind never sits still and wants to know about everything and anything. Right now, we think I am the body. Anyone in this group who 100% feels they are not the body, they are already liberated. Anyone who never feels that I am the body. The whole concept about this identity with a form is invitation to death. Because we all know death comes to body only. But then someone can say, then what other identification should I look for? And that is all this satsang and this practice is all about, knowing that what we truly are. If we know that what we truly are, and we also say, I am also this body, then it is okay. When death will come, it will take some part of us. You can say, this gadget called body will be dead, and you can't interact with other forms. But you in your essence will not be dead. But if you think you are the body, then definitely you will be dead. It is all about your own understanding. So, moving from mortal to immortal, you have to pick up what is immortal. If you identify with immortal, you are immortal. If you identify with mortal, you are mortal. It is as simple as that. So you should know within you where you stand right now. And The biggest test of that is how much we worry about this body. People say, I'm not attached to anyone. Something happens to your kid, you can't sleep whole night. But you can sleep soundly if something happens to next door or, someone you don't know. It is all attachment. Someone gives the news that you have cancer or you have some inoperable disorder or whatever. Are you as calm and cool as you were before this news? All this tells us how much is the body attachment and the mind attachment. How much I keeps going in us. How much I have to do, I need to do. All this continues in us. How much when we speak to others, how much we use I all the time. Or how much we feel I within us. Ego can be felt. Ego is felt all the time. Ego is like something protective, appears to be protective. The way someone speaks to us, we always try to hold whether what intention the person is speaking, and then we are ready to retort. All this construct looks very real to us. Can we live without this construct? Can we live just without thought in all circumstances? Because if we live without thoughts, then that is bliss. That is real happiness. Then we are happy in all circumstances. Then we are not looking forward to happy moments or moments of sensory indulgence because we are always happy. So these things needs to be reflected upon all the time in our life for small interactions and big interactions. When we speak to others, are we trying to show them down? Or when we talk about them when they're not there, can we speak the same language when they are there? It all are checks to see whether the ego is still there, because ego knows only one thing, to put yourself up and others down. And sometimes it can also show us down. When we are depressed, when we feel bullied, it can take us the other way also. In both ways, it is not our friend. It keeps us at the edge, and we are so sensitive. Sometimes we say this person is very emotional, he is very sensitive. Actually, the person who is too emotional or too sensitive is an idiot, because he's so much attached to his own mind thoughts and what people are doing, and that person is towards the other extreme end of this attachment. Always thinking about this ego, always trying to satisfy this ego. Always busy in his own mind, in his own thoughts. When you are too much in your thoughts, then you start listening to thoughts which are not there. You misinterpret what people are saying. You start reading too much between the lines. Someone has just said something jokingly and you take serious, and then you don't talk to that person. It can take that extreme ways. I think someone has an urgent question about Meena. You want to ask something?
Yes, Sanjay. Yes, urgent. It's not urgent. I always wanted to ask about that, but then I always give my own answer. And I know it's a personal thing, but you are speaking now exactly what I'm living in the moment with my son, who is living with me here. And it's such a difficult situation because because I'm on this way, I'm on this path, and I have put everything away, but I live with him because he is mentally sick. His reactions are exactly as you are talking now. And he's always thinking that we don't love him, that we don't accept him. And I can speak as I like. I don't reach him because it's in his mindset. And I know that you will say, my son. I know he is not my son. He is also consciousness, he is awareness. And it's maybe this situation that is given to me to come out of this stuff, of this belief in it. But at the same moment, it's very difficult. And also, I start also to react like that. I start to give answers that I don't want to give because I know this is bullshit what I'm speaking.
So give me an example, like you are saying it is a difficult situation. I can understand it is difficult for him, but if you are a jnani, you know things, why it is difficult for you?
Yes, because it is like, I give you a very, very stupid example.
Give any, we talk only these stupid things here, you talk anything.
Yes. Yeah. I'm lying I'm sleeping. He is going in the morning early on the market. He look inside my room and I look also, and I go to him and I say, have a nice day. I hug him, and then he stays like that. He looks at me without speaking. After he comes back again and he starts to shouting on me. How many times I have told you I don't like that you tell me goodbye? And it's always like that, Then I say, okay, I'm sorry, I have forgotten, you don't then you have not to say sorry. Then he comes in my room, he put the light on, and I tell him, I don't like to speak like that with you. Why you don't leave me and you go now? And he goes on and on and on. This is one example, but there are many like that. In situations you don't expect this reaction, you are always like, what will come next? Because it's his way to look at life, and like you said before, exactly the same. I think in his mindset, his thoughts are going on, and
so I would suggest you, if he says don't say me goodbye, don't say him goodbye.
Yes, I don't do it now anymore. But this is the point is that when I am as I am, spontaneous, because I have an open heart and I love everything, and I stop to be spontaneous because I always start to think, oh, what will he say when I do this? And I stop to be myself. You know what I mean? This is a difficult part.
I would say you stay spontaneous, and if he insults you, accept it, but you stay as natural as you are.
Yes.
Don't try to pretend to be something else because he doesn't want you like that. But if he doesn't want to interact with you, don't interact with him. Just send wishes to him. That's all.
Yes.
Keep quiet.
Yes.
And look, I have to say this thing. I don't know how you will take it, but all the situations which comes in our life is basically a compassion of God for us to be more into that.
Yes.
Somehow everything teaches us a lesson not in a bad way, like to be more there, rather than external. Yes. And I'll give you this example, that any time when we think we are smart and we try to act smartly, especially with the seekers, we get a slap, and this slap is like someone insults the ego or puts us down or something, and this is a message to just keep quiet, rather than trying to show too much of who we are, because we can't show what we are. We can't show to anyone who we are. We are nothing. Because if you are not this body, that means you are bodiless. And if you are not thoughts, then you are silence. So you are silence without a form. How can you tell others who you are if you stay silent and stay like nothing? If someone can appreciate a form which is silent and does not even acknowledge that I am the form. Because I'll tell you, Meena, when death will come, it will take away two things. One, this body, and other, your voice. Inner voice and outer voice. If you have no identification with these two things and you are silent awareness, it will come and it will go empty-handed. It can't find you. It can't find you because you have found yourself. Do you understand this?
Yes.
You have found yourself and death can't find you now. Because death is just an illusion of the ego only, nothing else. And this boy who lives with you, and he is in his own journey, it is one of the forms, but the essence in him is as pure as all of us. No difference. But one day maybe he will be out of illusion. How a mad person can say that I'm less mad, he's more mad? We are all mad. It is just a degree of madness, I would say. And you never know. Sometimes more mad people gets, cured earlier than mildly mad, because mildly mad don't think they are mad. So they never go for treatment. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we can't say, some people I know, this is the biggest issue with people who have families. As soon as they know about all this knowledge, they say, can you teach my kids? Because they don't know and they think their kids should know and they should get out of it. It's all attachment. First thing first, you should know. Completely.
At the same time, he behaves sometimes like enlightened, because he is walking like Ramana Maharshi with one pair of clothes, without money, without a passport, through whole Europe by feet. And he didn't speak, and something, is like he has given up everything of this life, but he is going on with his mental stuff. It's like he has no more things, but the things are inside. And this is, for me, it's very special, but I understand absolutely what you are saying, and I have also, these were also my own answers. But I thought I would like to speak here with you and also with others about that, because it's also the recognition how strong this Maya plays. Because
I can't agree more than that. I have seen.
Go out of that, and it takes me in again. And
not just you, the people who are living in caves, the people who we think they are sages, people we think they are the yogis, people we think they have millions of followers. When you meet them, you see them, they are worse than a normal human being. So this Maya never leaves anyone. Intellectuals, Nobel laureates, criminals, lawyers, bureaucrats, politicians, clerks, farmers, everyone, everything. Not just human beings, birds, animals, plants, fishes, everything. Everything is in it. And the thing is that if you develop that deep understanding, in spite of everyone, you can get out of it. You can slip away. You can move out and understand what can make you out. It is interesting. It is interesting to know that satsang, or the pointers by the people who are out, the way they explain, just that listening to that can make you out. While if someone can say, can God make you out? No, God cannot make you out, because we have made God.
Yes.
This ego has made a God.
Yes.
So even that God cannot make us out, because it is our own creation. That God is also our creation.
Yes.
But to get out of it, that human being which is on the other side, and he has made some pointers, he's written something, and even if he is not alive, you read it and you can be out. Can you see the power of those words?
Yesterday I wrote exactly these words, where someone was asking Bhagavan, how did this Maya illusion yes, how is it created? And he said to him, this is not important. Ask yourself, to whom does this arise? Who is? And this has made so much in me. I saw suddenly a completely other dimension and a completely other seeing at this.
Very
This
true.
question every time, to whom? Who is saying that? Who is hurt, and who?
I'll tell you, Meena, if you break this transmitter, receiving end of ego, which is interacting with sun, with word, with people, with things, if this is broken, which Bhagavan says manonasha, destruction of the mind, you break this transmitter,
Yes.
you will be in bliss all the time, because nothing goes in. That only makes you that you are going in. And another thing is, more you contemplate on truth, this the egoistic me and this awareness me has a different quality. You will feel it. Because you will be from that, you have receded into it. Because of your contemplation, because of you have no interest in mind, because of you have no interest in the things, because you have understood that anything which I desire, eventually it gives rise to suffering. And anything which just comes automatically, spontaneously, is the best. But if I try to grab, I try to run for something, even if I get, it can give momentary happiness, but then it tricks me to get more of that. And then it's an unending cycle.
Yes.
And if I don't get it, when I desire, intensely desire, then I feel unhappy. So in both ways, I'm in a trap. So this is a Maya's trap through our thoughts. Maya can only play on us through thoughts. And if we understand how these thoughts play, you start ignoring all these thoughts.
Yes.
More you ignore, more you feel peace, more you understand, more you are not interested in anything. And initial days, I have to say, you get irritated with all the people who are so-called selfish or full of their ego. And that irritates a sadhak the most in the initial days. But then that energy is so profound that you just take them as some mild disturbance outside happening in these forms, it does not affect. And then all this effect on you is not there, because which gets affected is no more in you.
Yes.
So I believe this boy who lives with you, your son, he is also there to maybe get rid of anything, small traces of any individuality in you. He is there to dissolve it. He is God sent. Take him like that.
By the way, this boy has 41 years.
That's okay. That's okay. We are all, look, I'll tell you this, this Atman is eternal. It has no age. It does not get old or young. Today I was seeing a patient and she was turning 75. I said, can I call you an old lady? or you will get offended. She said, no, you can call me. But I remember, I said, why? She said, why do you say that? I said, there was a lady who was 79 and she said, only 80 plus are old people. I am still young. So this old and young is relative, and this is only the body's thing, and none of us are body in the real sense of Vedanta, Upanishad, and the Atman is the same. Atman never changes. After millions and billions of years also, it will be the same. It never gets old. So sometimes when our body is growing old, we don't feel old because we are actually not old. Or you can say we are so old that oldness is not a non-aging oldness. We are there for so long but never get old. That is why, the interest in not to die, anti-aging medicines, and all these things come so naturally to us. Because at subconscious, we know that nobody dies and we don't grow old. So enjoy the bliss. Next time you see him as Ramana only. Yeah, that's a good idea. You can say, and you can tell him to show him Ramana's picture. You can.
I said to him, and in my apartment there are many Ramana pictures also in his room. And I said to him, I don't like to struggle with you on these problems because I know that these problems are not real. And this is all a game. And I don't see you as this man who has problems. I see you as the self, as the Ramana. And he looks at me with eyes like,
just have a laugh. Don't worry. Yes. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I am so thankful for your satsangs, and they lift me so up. And I told you already, I listen the whole day. I listen to your satsangs, and it's a blessing. I know it will come good, and everything is fine. But
everything is always fine. Always.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Thank you.
Hello, Steve.
Okay. Good morning, or whatever it is over there.
Yes.
Okay. It's around 6 o'clock here in the morning. This is a question that I just sort of live with or come up with my own answer, but it's kind of rumbled around in my head for many years. So when I talk with people or read certain things, I'm sort of looking for an answer to it. And that is when you mentioned, for example, as you do repeatedly, which is good because it's kind of get through to us, so we're convinced of it, that the key to experiencing bliss is to essentially stop thinking. There may be other things, but stop thinking is a great thing to get to that point. But excuse me. But then you and other people also talk about when you, like you were saying earlier today, if you have an interaction with somebody, kind of track it back to what's it all about? Was it some selfish motive? What was going on? In other words, to reflect upon it. And if you're in satsang or you're reading something, like a while ago, you said, contemplate on the truth, contemplate on certain teachings and so forth. So the question is when you say contemplate, which makes you think thinking, this is me thinking or talking, or reflect, is it sort of like somebody who uses, and I think you've done this, who will say, well, what you should do is have a longing for this, like a desire. No, not desire. Desire is like verboten. It's like a key word, fear, desire. You don't. So the translation is you have a longing for it, which is really desire. So I guess the question comes down to how can you, a person with strictly without thinking, do certain contemplating on what I would think would be good things, if there's an exception to the rule of don't think, it would apply to, observing yourself in daily life and trying to see where you're being a show off or you're trying to put somebody down for egotistical reasons. And you reach something of wow, and you think, well, what that means is blah blah blah, and you try to connect the dots a little bit. So, question is, how can you um, do these contemplations or reflections without thinking?
Very good question. I think this is a very pertinent question. Okay, let's say you read a pointer. You read. When I say you contemplate, when you read it intently with full attention, it will not make you think. It will take you to the silence. It will take you to your deeper core. Try to do it. Read anything, and we all can read one day from any Upanishadic statement or any pointers which Dr. Vidya Narasimhan does at the end of Satsang. She writes those pointers and we share. I would say you read that pointer in your mind or aloud, doesn't matter. But after reading that, there is no thinking left. I'll tell you, if you intently even listen to someone saying, Aham Brahmasmi, you will feel Brahman. It is like that words, that sentence, that mantra, that pointer, that sutra is coming from your own self, and it has power to bring you there. So it is not that you have to think about it. It is not thinking, you stay there. When I say longing and to know that and interest in that, what happens is that awareness, which is the undercurrent going in everything, your attention always stays on that. In spite of a thought, in spite of a situation, in spite of a drastic situation, in spite of a situation which for others is a matter of worry and deep sorrow, and you are feeling that blissfulness so much that the sorrow has no effect, like it's just a wave and you are in that infinite bliss. That undercurrent is always there. It is not thinking. And contemplating on it is when you have attended satsang, you have read, you know what the truth is. Truth is that only, which is pure awareness. And this undercurrent is so powerful that you cannot forget it. Efforts are only for first few weeks or months. If someone is really dumb, it might take a couple of years, but finally it is the only thing which is always there. And when you are interested in it, you always feel that only. That is why so many things which worldly people will think that why you are not interested when you are just getting it. You have resources, you have the knowledge. Why don't you go and indulge? But they don't understand you are already indulging in that awareness, which is full of all that indulgence without doing anything. This undercurrent is there all the time. In Vedanta, they give very simple examples. Like in India, in olden times, in villages, there were wells which were a bit far from the main, village area. So the females used to go to that place and carry pitcher, and they used to carry like 3, 4, 5, one over the other. They will go there in a group of those females will go together, and then they will fill up all those pitchers with water and they carry back home. You can still see this in countryside in India. And they will talk to each other, they will make jokes, and they will do all sorts of things which young girls will do. But in spite of that, the pitchers are one over the other and they are straight and they reach home without dropping any water. That means the attention is there, though they are doing all these things with other friends, but the attention is always on their head on those pitchers, so nothing falls. When I was a kid in India, we have kite flying, and there are special occasions when we do kite flying, and when we are doing kite flying, there are other kites also, and sometimes you play and you cut other kites and you do all sorts of things with those kite flying. And the friends comes and there are a lot of people talking to you and it's like a party, you're eating, but your attention is always on the kite, where it is going, what is the direction, whether other kites are coming or not. So you are talking to people, but your attention is always on the kite. I think something like this, I can say, happens once you identify truth in you. Your attention is there. And in initial days, what happens is, because of old habit, you go back into this egoistic tendency and then you don't feel good. You feel that there's a big loss, as you've lost yourself, as you're not at the right place. Like, we say that it does not feel at home, or this place feels at home. It is like that. You don't want to leave that energy. So there's nothing, and you're not paying any price that you're not indulging. It's not like something you're trying to hold your mind, so you don't want to do this, you don't want to do. You without doing, you are in so much of bliss. So you want to avoid doing all those things, because all those things of sensory indulgence in which you have no interest, you do as disinterested action, because they don't give any extra happiness to you. So somehow your attention stays there only in all acts. So this non-doership, what we talk about to reach there, that where you reach, it is always non-doership, because doership is an effort, and effort takes away all the stillness from you, all the rest of that complete. When people are doing a lot of hard work, they come and they rest, they feel good, because they won't rest. Nobody can keep working all the time. They won't rest. So this rest is a beautiful thing. There was an article I came across to me today, and it says there is some very big, these gurus which are teach you how to be more productive, and he charges a hefty fee. And he said, any process you do in your life which takes away 10 seconds extra of your life, try to do it in a way so you save that 10 seconds. And if you save 10 seconds, if you do 10 times, you're saving 100 seconds. And bloody, he has created that you save like 15 hours in a year or something. This is all nonsense, You are not a machine. Productivity, what productivity? For whom? Are you slave? Slave of your boss or employer? Or, people don't understand. There is no need. Things just happens. Nothing is important. Or you can say everything is equally important. Your rest is equally important than your productivity also. Understand where this doership is coming from. All this media and conditioning and society. Nobody wants you to rest. Everyone wants you to work. Your family, your friends, your society. Productive. Productive, so everyone gets money and then they buy nuclear bombs and destroy each other. That's what this is all productivity is about. Killing each other at the end. Aboriginals are better. So it is not about more thinking. That is what I am trying to make you understand. When you contemplate on truth, it has to take you to silence. If it is taking you to more thinking, maybe give up all that reading. Don't read that. And that is why this Upanishadic reading is to be read and then dropped, and stay in silence. Even when we do bhajans, I feel the best way to do bhajan is when we are singing or we are praising the Lord or whatever. After a bhajan, go in silence. Don't do anything. And don't keep going bhajan after bhajan and get tired, and then you need water and you have to eat now. Don't make it as a doership. Enjoy it. Whenever you have to stop, just stop it and just identify your silence. Because all these exercises we do is to identify silence. Whenever a satsang or anything is bringing you there, just go there. Be in that. Don't worry about any understanding. There is no understanding needed in silence. And don't ask me how these pointers will take you to silence. That is their job, because they are coming from the silence. Anything coming from the silence will take you to silence. Anything which has never experienced silence can never take you to silence. And I'll tell you, with any teaching of any teacher, if it takes you to silence, it is truth. And if it takes you away from the silence, it is fake. I don't want to say about the teacher, but I'm talking about the teaching. Teaching should have that power to take you to silence. Even the words spoken from that awareness carries the power of awareness. Don't give all that talk to your mind and to analyze and to understand intellectually. Be in your silence. It will take you to the silence. That is what contemplation is. Once we reach silence, our mind merges in silence. Mind merges in silence. All these forms disappear. And only thing felt and experienced is Atman, Brahman, awareness, self, whatever you call it. But that whatever you call it, you don't see it, you are that. And you feel it is unending, infinite in all directions. All of us are in that. Everything is in that. Nothing is less or nothing is more. So everyone is equally important and everyone has equal share of it. And sometimes you will feel that if I know, all of them know. Maybe they are just pretending for a while, because whatever it is, you cannot miss it because it is there all the time. Our mind sleeps, but awareness never sleeps. Our mind takes different forms, sometimes waking, sometimes dream. Awareness never deceives us. Mind is deceiving all the time. And this deceiving mind we believe, and we don't believe on ourselves, which is awareness. I don't understand. It looks such a big paradox. Mind deceives us every night. It takes us to the dream. And we have a dream. And then we wake up and it deceives every night. And still we don't understand it. It deceives us all the time. If you have a friend who has deceived you once, twice, thrice, what would you do? Tell me. You will never talk to that person. But we are so stupid, we kept talking to this mind all the time. All the time. And we have this false hope that one day it will not deceive us and it will give us all what we want. That bliss, happiness. And I'll tell you this, and a day comes when it kills us, it takes away the body. Maya and mind is one. Whatever this mind is projecting, it is Maya only, it's illusion only. And we try to find reality from illusion, which can never happen. Illusion will always be illusion and reality will always be reality. If you want reality out of illusion, you can never get it. You have to get to the real. And to get to the real, you have to give up friendship with unreal. You leave unreal and whatever left is always there and it is real. Actually, truth is not that difficult to understand. But first thing first, you have to give up your friendship with thing which is actually creating illusion in you. Diana, you want to ask something?
Sanjay, this is the moment to really thank you full-hearted
Thank you.
for full-hearted. It was your being completely silence that transformed this being to be able to stay in silence and to know fully that silence is all that is fully. So I cannot, there are no words, but I want to let you know it happens and it happens completely. And my gratitude, the gratitude is eternally. That's all. There's such a transforming power in the coming from silence, being silence only like you are. This was clear immediately. I was not looking for you, but it was clear that Ramana sent me this video once on the site, Ramana Bhagavan Satsang, and I looked at it and it was a video of silence and that was it. And that was it. And it became confirmed the whole year, each day, in the evening and sometimes twice a day, and listening to this silence, and recognizing it so deep, so profoundly, that all was heard, what was received was only silence. Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you. Someone has Aditi's iPhone. Thank you so much, Sanjay. This was my first session and looks like I got a lot of answers. Thank you, Aditi. Are you there? You must be there. Steve, is this your raised hand from the previous question or again Is the second time or it's just up there? Because I can't hear you. Looks like you want to say something. We are almost. Yes, go ahead.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's a follow up from what we were talking about earlier. I appreciate what you said. Actually, yeah, you mentioned earlier about how someone will have an image of themselves of disidentifying with a body or whatever, and they have something that happens that, if they're paying attention, will show them the truth, like the cancer diagnosis, that they really aren't there 100%. Like someone saying, same thing as someone saying, well, I've totally surrendered. Everything is in God's hands now. But they've actually just been to satsang and figured out, hey, this is a good thing, surrender. And they added that to the vocabulary. But things happen, if they're paying attention, that or go against that. So likewise here, what I usually do after our time together is I will spend a couple of minutes being in consciousness and awareness, and not being bogged down in my mind. I will think about, especially today, since we had this interaction, say, well, Sanjay said blah, 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 and I think blah, blah. And that means, I'll spend a couple of minutes thinking about that and applying it. Like, what's my blind spot here? How can I apply this? And then I'll go about my day. And but what I'm going to do today, when we finish, I'm not going to do that. Like you said earlier, if I understood you, you don't need to think about it. You don't need to think this is something that's important. I need to figure out how to apply this. Just go about my business. I don't spend 1 minute in reflecting, contemplating, thinking, or anything. If I understood you correctly, I don't need to do that. Just silence is the ultimate goal, first words, then this, then silence, and then that's it. So is that understand? Is that, I mean, you don't tell what people what they should do, but would that follow from what you said? We finish in after an hour, and then I say, okay, and I really would want to think about that and say, that means the other day when I was talking to somebody, yeah. But I'm not going to do that today. And that would be the correct application, understanding of what you said. Is that correct? Or I was missing some little.
Very true, Steve. Very true. And I would say not today, but always. No need to analyze, no need to give it to your intellectual understanding. Even if your understanding stays zero, doesn't matter. Stay in your silence. Take that silence from the satsang and stay with that. And if your understanding develops zero, doesn't matter. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you so much. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.